What if the reason people don't respect you is not because you are too weak, but because you have spent your entire life trying to be liked? Many people confuse kindness with self-sacrifice. They say yes when they want to say no. They stay silent to avoid conflict. They apologize for things that were never their fault. And little by little, they teach the world one dangerous lesson. My boundaries don't matter. The Stoics understood a truth that most people learn only after years of disappointment. Respect is never earned by abandoning yourself. It is earned by standing firmly in your values, even when doing so makes others uncomfortable. Hello everyone, welcome to the Stoic Hypnosis channel. In this video, you will discover 7 timeless Stoic lessons that will help you stop seeking approval, build unshakable self-respect, set healthy boundaries without guilt, and become the kind of person others naturally respect. Not because you demand it, but because your character quietly commands it. Sometimes, the kindest thing you can do is stop betraying yourself. Now, let's get started. Lesson 1. Stop confusing kindness with self-abandonment. One of the greatest misunderstandings in life is believing that being kind means saying yes to everything. Many people spend years trying to earn love by making themselves endlessly available. They solve everyone's problems while quietly ignoring their own. They avoid difficult conversations because they fear disappointing others. They sacrifice their peace just to keep everyone comfortable. At first, people appreciate them, but over time, something changes. Their kindness becomes expected instead of valued. Their generosity becomes taken for granted, and their silence is mistaken for weakness. The Stoics never taught blind self-sacrifice. They believed that virtue begins with respecting your own character. If your kindness requires you to betray your principles, suppress your truth, or constantly ignore your own needs, it is no longer virtue. It is fear wearing the mask of kindness. Real kindness is freely chosen, not driven by guilt, fear of rejection, or the desperate need to be liked. The moment you stop apologizing for having boundaries, people begin to see you differently. Some may leave, others may become uncomfortable. That is perfectly fine, because the people who truly respect you never needed unlimited access to your time, your energy, or your peace. Remember this: you are not responsible for keeping everyone happy. You are responsible for remaining honest with yourself, and the first person who deserves your kindness is the one you see in the mirror every morning. Lesson 2. Learn the power of saying no. There is one small word that has protected more peaceful lives than almost any other: no. Yet for many people, it is the hardest word they will ever say. Why? Because every no carries the risk of disappointing someone, and those who constantly seek approval often mistake disappointment for rejection, so they continue saying yes. Yes to requests they resent. Yes to obligations they never wanted. Yes to relationships that drain them. Little by little, they become exhausted, not because life asks too much of them, but because they never learned where to draw the line. The Stoics understood that every decision is an exchange. Whenever you say yes to something unnecessary, you're automatically saying no to something essential: your peace, your purpose, your family, your health, your own growth. Time is your most valuable possession. Once it is given away, no amount of regret can bring it back. This is why wise people protect their time with quiet confidence. They do not refuse out of arrogance. They refuse because they understand that a meaningful life requires deliberate choices. A respectful no is often far kinder than a dishonest yes. People may not always like your boundaries, but they will learn where they stand. And surprisingly, many will respect you more because of them. Because those who value themselves teach the world how they expect to be treated. The moment you stop fearing the word no, you begin saying yes to the life you were actually meant to live. Before we continue, I want you to ask yourself one honest question. How many times have you sacrificed your own peace simply because you were afraid that someone might dislike you? If these lessons are helping you see yourself more clearly, subscribe to the channel and join a community of people who are choosing self-respect over people-pleasing, wisdom over impulse, and inner strength over temporary approval. The people who are respected the most are rarely the ones who speak the loudest. They are the ones who have learned when to remain silent, and why that silence carries more power than 1,000 words. Lesson 3. Stop explaining yourself to everyone. One of the clearest signs of inner insecurity is the constant need to explain yourself. You explain your decisions. You explain your boundaries. You explain your silence. You even explain your dreams to people who never intended to understand them. Why? Because somewhere deep inside, you hope that if everyone understands your reasons, they will finally approve of your choices. But the Stoics saw this differently. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself that you cannot control how people interpret your actions. Some will misunderstand you, even when your intentions are pure. Some will criticize you, even when you have done nothing wrong. Some have already decided who you are long before you open your mouth. No explanation will change a mind that has no desire to understand. The strongest people know when words become unnecessary. They allow their actions to speak where arguments cannot. They no longer waste precious energy defending every decision they make. Instead, they quietly continue walking their path. Ironically, the less you feel compelled to justify yourself, the more confident you appear. Confidence is quiet. Insecurity is constantly seeking permission. Remember this: you do not owe everyone access to your thoughts. You do not owe everyone an explanation. Sometimes, the most powerful response is simply living your life with integrity and allowing time to reveal the truth. Because people may question your words, but eventually, they cannot argue with your character. Lesson 4. Respect begins the moment you stop chasing it. There's an old paradox that many people discover far too late. The more desperately you seek respect, the more difficult it becomes to earn. Respect cannot be begged for. It cannot be demanded. And it certainly cannot be purchased through endless kindness. It grows naturally around people who respect themselves first. Many spend their lives trying to make everyone happy. They avoid conflict. They agree with opinions they secretly disagree with. They become whoever the room expects them to be. At first, this may win temporary approval, but approval and respect are not the same thing. Approval often lasts only until you stop giving people what they want. Respect remains because it is built upon consistency and character. The Stoics believe that your duty is not to please the crowd. Your duty is to live according to virtue, even when that path feels lonely. Some people will walk away when you stop making yourself convenient. Let them. Not every departure is a loss. Sometimes it is proof that your boundaries are finally working. The people who truly belong in your life will not disappear because you value yourself. In fact, they will value you even more. The moment you stop chasing validation, You begin attracting genuine respect because there is something deeply compelling about a person who remains calm, speaks with intention, honors their principles, and never compromises their character simply to be accepted. That kind of strength cannot be imitated. It can only be earned, one decision at a time. Lesson 5. Learn to walk away without anger. One of the greatest demonstrations of strength is not winning every battle. It is knowing which battles are no longer worth fighting. Many people stay where they are constantly disrespected because they hope things will eventually change. They keep explaining, keep forgiving, keep giving one more chance, not because they are kind, but because they are afraid of letting go. The Stoics understood something liberating. You cannot force another person to value you. You cannot argue someone into respecting you. You cannot love someone enough to make them treat you with dignity. At some point, wisdom asks you to stop proving your worth to those who have already chosen not to see it. Walking away is not an act of revenge. It is an act of self-respect. It is the quiet decision to protect your peace instead of sacrificing it for a relationship, a friendship, or an environment that constantly diminishes your spirit. Some people will call it pride. Others will call it selfishness. Do not let those words deceive you. There is a profound difference between abandoning people and refusing to abandon yourself. The strongest individuals rarely leave in anger. They leave in silence, without bitterness, without the need for the last word, because they understand that peace is far more valuable than victory. Sometimes the most powerful sentence you will ever speak is the one you never say. Lesson 6. Let your character speak louder than your words. The world is full of people trying to appear strong. Very few are willing to become strong. Some announce every goal before they begin. Others constantly remind everyone how honest, loyal, or disciplined they are. But genuine character never needs an advertisement. The Stoics believed that virtue reveals itself through consistent action, not impressive speeches. Anyone can promise loyalty. Anyone can claim wisdom. Anyone can pretend to be confident for a few moments. But pressure exposes what words try to hide. It is easy to remain calm when life is comfortable. It is much harder when you are criticized, misunderstood, or disappointed. That is when your true character is revealed. Do not waste your energy convincing people who you are. Live in such a way that your actions become impossible to ignore. Keep your promises. Honor your principles. Treat others with dignity, but never at the cost of your own. Over time, something remarkable happens. People stop listening to what you say about yourself. They begin trusting what they consistently observe. Reputation may be created by words. Respect is built by repeated actions. Every ordinary day gives you another opportunity to become the person your future self will quietly thank you for becoming. Lesson 7. The person you must earn respect from first is yourself. After all these lessons, one truth remains above every other. The most important respect you will ever receive is your own. Many people spend decades chasing admiration from strangers while secretly disappointing themselves. They break promises they made to their own heart. They ignore their values to fit into rooms where they never truly belonged. They become successful in the eyes of others while feeling like strangers within themselves. This is the greatest tragedy. Because if you cannot look in the mirror with honesty and peace, no amount of applause will ever feel enough. The Stoics returned to the same question every single day. did I live according to my principles? Not, did everyone like me? Not, did everyone agree with me? Only this, was I faithful to my character? That single question changes the direction of an entire life. When you begin respecting your own standards, keeping your word, protecting your peace, standing by your principles, you no longer crave constant validation. You no longer fear being misunderstood. You no longer measure your worth by the opinions of people who barely know you. And that is when respect begins to follow you naturally. Not because you demanded it, not because you chased it, but because people instinctively recognize the quiet confidence of someone who has already mastered the hardest relationship of all, the relationship with themselves. Remember this until the end of your life. Kindness will always be a virtue. But kindness without self-respect becomes self-neglect. The Stoic is not respected because they are feared. The Stoic is respected because they never betray their own character simply to keep someone else comfortable. And that is the kind of strength that time can never diminish. Conclusion. In the end, Stoicism never asks you to become colder, harsher, or less compassionate. It asks you to become wiser. There is a profound difference between kindness that flows from inner strength and kindness that is driven by fear of rejection. One earns respect. The other quietly invites exploitation. The moment you stop abandoning your values to gain acceptance, something remarkable happens. You no longer chase respect. It begins to follow you naturally. The deepest lesson is this: never trade your self-respect for temporary approval. Every time you choose honesty over people-pleasing, boundaries over guilt, courage over comfort, and integrity over popularity, you become a little stronger than you were yesterday. Start practicing today. Say no when your conscience says no. Stop explaining every decision. Walk away from places that constantly demand pieces of your dignity. Protect your peace without losing your compassion. If this video resonated with you, subscribe to the channel and join us on this journey of mastering yourself through the timeless wisdom of Stoicism. Every new video is created to help you build unshakable confidence, quiet strength, and lasting inner peace, one lesson at a time. And remember this: kindness will earn people's gratitude, but self-respect will earn their respect. Never sacrifice one to keep the other. Thank you for taking the time to watch until the end of the video. See you in the next videos.